Hey Warriors, it's Miss Hanf, and I thought I'd make a quick little video about something that Mrs. Vale brought to my attention that I thought everyone could use in their classrooms. And that something is called pixel art. So you can use pixel art and Google Sheets to make kind of fun little projects for your kids to answer, and in the end, each of their answers makes a program make a picture. So, I did a little research, and here's what I found. So you're going to start with an untitled Google Sheet, like here. Now, you're going to want to have a couple of columns that you're going to use for putting in your questions and putting in your answers. I would also leave a couple of blank rows so that you can have, or blank columns, so that you can have some kind of border. And then all of these other columns, you are going to resize so that they can be more squarish. I've seen examples where they didn't resize them, and I suppose you can make that work, but it just looks a little sloppy. So, a couple of ways that you can do that is I would first grab and resize your columns. It's very easy to do. So that would be long enough for a question, that would be long enough for an answer. These guys I'm going to make pretty tiny. And there is a way that you can make and set all of these to be the same size. So if you click on your first one, and the example that I saw went all the way through column Z, so I'm going to do the same. I'm going to hold Shift and click on Z so that everything gets selected. From here, I'm going to right click, and it's going to give me an option to resize columns E through Z. So I'm going to click on that. In my example, which I will send out and you can use as a template, I think I used 32 pixels, and it will smush everything down. Now this is not quite a square because it's 32 wide, and I think the default is 21 pixels tall. So you can do that same process with all of your rows. So click on row 1, go down however far you want. So I'm going to go to 25 maybe. I'm going to press Shift, click on 25, right click, resize rows, and then just make it the same size that you made your columns. So we end up with actual squares that we can fill in with colors in our next step. So once you have made your pixels into squares, the next step is to actually make your picture. So I just made a little Star Trek dude, but all you need to do is fill in your squares. This probably is going to be what takes the bulk of your time, because once you get to actually putting in your questions and putting in the formatting, that's really quick and just follows the same kind of pattern over and over again. So I made my little pixel art. In this column, I'm going to put all of my questions. In this column, I'm going to put all of my answers. And in this column, I think I'm just going to make that into a border just for ease of reading. Okay, I'm at my next step, and I have inputted my first question and my first answer. So you can go ahead and put in all of yours, but I'm just going to start from here. So what you want to do is click on your answer, then you're going to go up to Format, and then down to Conditional Formatting. So it will pull up this little menu bar, and if you see here, it has the color as a default, and it's filled in this square or this cell with that same color. So this is where we're going to change it to whatever color we want to start filling in for our puzzle. So maybe we'll do this one. So I'm going to change my color over here to the same one that I used in my picture. And this is where we need to start messing around with formulas. It may seem pretty scary, but it did not take me long this morning. And it will take you even less time because we're good at this. So we are going to click on this drop-down menu, Format Cells, and we're going to go all the way down to Custom Formula Is. We're going to select this. And then here is where we're going to input what the answer should be and tell it like how to find it. So you want to type in the equal sign, the dollar sign, and then we are going to put the name of the cell. So we have cell B2. You can tell because it's like slightly darker on the sides to help you find it. So we've got equal sign, dollar sign, capital B, then another dollar sign, the number 2, so we're telling it B2. We're going to do the equal sign again. And since our answer is not a number, we also have to put that answer in quotation marks, which was not in the video that I looked at earlier today, and it took me quite a while to figure out. So there, we're saving you some time. So we're putting our answer in quotes, and we're not done yet, but we're almost done. So we come up here to apply to range. We're going to click on this, and it's going to allow us to pick a whole bunch more squares. You will want to drag this menu out of your way because it does get in the way. We're going to click Add Another Range, and then we are going to press down on our Control button on our keyboard and click on as many of these squares as we want. Just keep holding down Control and clicking away. If you try and do the trick where you press and hold Shift to get a whole range of things, it will not work, or it did not work for me this morning. That also took me a long time to figure out. So save yourself some time. Keep the Control button pressed in and highlight as much stuff as you want. So you can do it to where you have a couple questions that end up doing the same colors, or you can keep them all separate. It doesn't matter. Once we've highlighted to our heart's content, we're going to press OK. And we can see that they're all in here. Once they're in here, we can click Done. And from here, we'll also want to come up to the little paint box and click Reset. What that is going to do is when we come here and delete our answer, it's also going to delete all of those squares that we highlighted. So then you would do the rest of your questions, and for each one, you're going to do the same process so that you can get rid of some of your colors. Now I went ahead and did a full example. So I've got just a couple of questions here. And if I go through and I delete them all, we slowly lose more and more of our picture. So you could have it set up to where either there's a partial picture and they need to fill it in, or you can set it up to where it's completely blank and everything that they do will fill in the image. I have seen examples where the image was actually a message that was written out. You could totally do that too. And you know, you give your kids something to work on that's a little different from what they're doing all the time. Now, one thing I will say, like if we come back to here, make sure that you click out of this, because otherwise it has the answer in the formula. So you want to make sure that that's gone. And when you assign your thingy on Classroom, make sure you click so that it makes a copy for every student, so it doesn't have just the one and look crazy. So if you have the wrong answer, ooh, this is a good opportunity. So it is trying to autocomplete this answer with the first answer because Google wants to be helpful. If I did let it do that, right, that is obviously the incorrect answer. And so it just doesn't do anything. The kids will know when they have the right answer because the cell will change color and the image will fill in. So it's kind of almost a self-checking activity. All right, well, let me know if you have any questions. Come visit if you need any help, and I will gladly try and figure out the answers to your questions. Have a good day.